Hello, friends. Welcome to the Career Guru podcast. I am your host, Steve Yanovsky. What a glorious day it is to start your path in a new career. Doors are opening here at the Boston Career Institute even as we speak. And I'm here holding the key for you. So tune in, stay sharp, and enjoy yourself. This is going to be great. Hashtag Let's Career Up.
Good day to you, friends, conversationalists, aspiring career gurus all across the fruited plain. This is Steve Yanovsky, your career guru, coming to you across the internet to bring you our newest installment of the Career Guru podcast. Here we go. Today, based on some of the feedback that I've received over the last few weeks, I want to talk about effective time management skills and its identical cousin dealing with procrastination, which is a topic for our next Career Guru podcast, so stay tuned. But today, we will discuss, or I will discuss, for your dining and dancing pleasure, the 4 Ps of productivity, okay, and time management. So let's dive right on in. Managing time. Got to talk about time. Time is an interesting, scarce resource, much like money. Time, like money, can be used for many, many different alternative uses. Okay? So, like money, think of time as money. Time is money. You know, it's an old adage here. It's not a cliche. It is true. Every second of your precious time is irreplaceable, which is the difference between time and money. Money you can replace. Time you can. Therefore, understanding how to deal with your time in today's absolutely insane work environment. And what I mean by insane is, gone are the days of you being able to do your job or your assigned tasks without interruptions. Today, between emails, text messages, and other means of communications, it is incredibly difficult to focus on a task at hand. Have you noticed that at all? I'm sure a lot of you are shaking your head in agreement, and so you wonder, how is it possible that with all of our technological advances like computers, smartphones, and other devices, scanners, this, that, and the other thing, that our productivity has actually dropped from about 50 years ago when we had none of those things? It's extraordinarily difficult to get information, or it's extraordinarily difficult to find someone who can get the information or to know what they're doing with it. So even with all of that gadgetry at our disposal, time management has become absolutely essential. So what do we do? Well, first, let's realize that there are solutions. There are solutions. And since we live in the United States, we come up with abbreviations and acronyms for everything. So the wizards of smart who manage our efficiency out there have come up with what they call 4 Ps of effective time management. Okay, here we go. Ready? Get your thinking caps on, get your pen and paper ready, and let's write this down. Number 1, prioritize it. Number 2, planning. Number 3, productivity. Number 4, positivity. There's a 5th P, which is called procrastination, but that is a separate topic altogether. So, once again, the 4 Ps: prioritizing, planning, productivity, and positivity. And I will explain to you all of these 4 Ps moving forward. Okay? I'll explain all of these in great detail, as much as time allows in this podcast, without losing my audience, meaning you, to something else that you will be distracted from, and end up doing while trying to listen to the Career Guru. But I assure you, stay focused, and we'll get this done. So why manage time? Why manage time? We manage time because it's a scarce resource. We manage time because it's irreplaceable. But other reasons, more importantly, is to reduce the amount of stress that you are under, because there is never enough time in a day nowadays to complete any tasks. So if you want to keep yourself sane, you're going to manage your day properly. It will increase your productivity, managing time, that is. And it also, effective time management, leaves a lot more time for you to do the things that you actually want to do, not the things that you need to do, but things that you want to do, things that make you human, like, participating with activities with your family, your friends, your loved ones, enjoying life, smelling the roses, so to speak. Without effective time management, you're going to spend your day not 9 to 5, but 9 to 9, and still won't get anything done. Okay? Practicing good time management skills means that you can prioritize tasks, reduce distractions, and manage your overall workload effectively. It provides a sense of control, helps avoid burnout, and promotes a healthy work-life balance. Work-life balance is an interesting thing, right? Everybody talks about what that is. Well, what it is your job, your 8-hour block of time, or whatever block of time you have for work, that's work. Boom, boom, start to finish, done. Go home, and the work stays at work. That's what makes you an effective employee. Because if you bring your work home with you, you neither have work nor home. So manage your time properly. There's an interesting matrix that you can build for yourself, whether it's mentally or on a piece of paper, which I recommend. I recommend doing everything on paper, whether it's balancing your books, balancing your budget, or balancing your time. Creating a matrix in your mind, which is a part of one of the P's, which is plan, it's imperative for you to build this basically a 4-quadrant square, okay? And 4-quadrant square, it has, just imagine, draw yourself a square and then divide it into 4 squares. Now, the first square, on the left side, you will have 2 words next to the 2 left quadrants. One is going to be something that's important, upper left, not important, bottom left. Now, on the right side, you have above your first, the quadrant on the right side on top is something that's called not urgent. And the one below the quadrant would be called, my apologies, the one to the left will be called urgent. So urgent, not urgent, important, not important. Okay? So this is how it is. And in the first quadrant, which is your upper left quadrant, important things that come up. Okay? Number one thing that you would put in that quadrant are deadline-driven projects. That would be the first thing that's important. You are at work. You are working on a project. It is important because you are going to be called upon to deliver results. You have deliverables. You have obligations. You have things that your bosses make you responsible for. And if you don't get that done, the entire organization suffers and you suffer as well. So in the most important upper left quadrant, which is important and urgent, the very first thing that you put in there when you learn to manage your time is something called deadline-driven projects. Put it in there, and this is what you stay focused. The one below that, okay, will be something called important problems or pressing problems, something that that the entire organization or you personally are dealing with, whether it's at work or at home, doesn't really matter, because the same things apply for your home as for your job, because your home is your job as well. There are projects there as well. There are time constraints, there are budgets, there's all sorts of stuff. It's identical, except one is your home, one is work. Okay? So you put that second. So under deadline-driven projects, you have pressing problems. And last but not least, under important and urgent would be things like crises. Things that come up which require you to drop everything else and to deal with that. Then if you go to the right, in our next block, or the upper right quadrant, you have important but not urgent. What things that are important but not urgent? Well, they are things like building a relationship. Okay? Important, yes. Urgent, no. Finding new opportunities. Important, yes. Urgent, no. Things like long-term planning. personal growth and recreation are all important, but are not urgent. So these are the things that go into that upper right quadrant. Now let's go back to our left side of our quadrant and discuss, the not important but urgent things. Okay, so just to draw that little block for yourself, 4 quadrants, okay? 4 squares inside 1 square, and now we're in the bottom left square, and that square is not important but urgent. What's not important but urgent? Interruptions, emails, calls, meetings, these things, and things which are necessary but not right this second, okay? Something that's going to become necessary very soon, okay? And now let's move to the bottom right quadrant. And again, I call upon you to actually draw these pictures. So the bottom right quadrant, which is classified as not important and not urgent, are things like, things that you do for entertainment purposes. Things like various time wasters, like watching Netflix and stuff like that. Some unnecessary, unimportant calls, unnecessary emails, and all sorts of pleasant activities, whether at work or at home, which are, neither here nor there. So these are the things that you need to avoid when you have more important things like deadline-driven projects, okay? And so let us go to, when you do have this quadrant built in your mind or on a piece of paper, let's go back to our 4 Ps of time management, okay? Now, what were they again? Prioritizing, planning, productivity, and positivity. So let's start with planning, because like all things, plan is important for your success. If you don't have a plan, nothing is going to get done. The 4 Ps of time management refer to 4 strategies designed to help project managers prioritize tasks effectively. Now, I'm using the term project managers, but that means you. You have a project, you're managing it. Guess what? You're a project manager. Guess what? Very helpful tip for building your resume. This is a very important title that you can add to yourself, because when you're building, developing, and managing a project, guess what? You are a project management. Okay? So the very first P stands for planning, which encourages you to organize your tasks carefully. This includes the following: organizing a schedule, well-organized schedule, breaking down large projects into smaller tasks, and setting goals for each task. Also, planning the 4 Ps or creating a viable plan include things like, again, Ds, right? In this case, we have Ds. We have 3 Ds: deleting, delegating, and deferring. Okay? What does that mean? It means deleting the things that you don't need at this point in time from your schedule. Delegating means allowing someone else to do their job on your behalf. And deferring tasks which are not important for the current plan for another time. I'm not talking about procrastination. I'm simply telling you to move that particular piece from immediate plan to the following plan that you're going to create. Okay? So this is the thing. Now, so the plan, once again, to recap the plan, okay? Organizing your schedule, making sure that you set aside time blocks to do the job uninterrupted, taking a big project, making it into several smaller projects, okay? And setting goals for which you personally are responsible to yourself. And of course, by doing so, also deleting the unnecessary work, delegating some of the responsibility to others, and deferring unnecessary projects for another time. Unnecessary for this particular plan. It may be necessary, but later. And you'll get to it when you build your next plan. The next part is prioritizing. Building on the first D that I just discussed, which was deleting, okay? Saying no, learning how to say no to non important, non-essential tasks for this particular plan that you're building. Okay? And it's focusing further on delegating tasks that other people can do for you and be responsible to you. Okay? Prioritizing ultimately will help you to ensure that the most critical tasks are completed first and that the remaining tasks are completed on schedule. Okay? This will make it easier for you to manage your time effectively and efficiently, which is key. Effective and efficient. These are very important words to remember. And overall is going to improve productivity, which is the next P, productivity. So first we talked about planning. We talked about prioritization. And now we can talk about productivity. So in terms of our time management, it refers to our ability to effectively manage and utilize your time to accomplish tasks and achieve goals. By prioritizing tasks and activities, right? And sticking to your plan of action, productivity will improve basically on its own. So if you take care of these details and make sure you stick to them, you will be productive. Okay? So last of the P's here is positivity. What exactly is positivity? It's kind of hard to be positive in the workplace. A lot of people have a very hard time to be positive. So positive professional attitude to work is actually a big deal. Because when you're positive, and positivity can be described as kind of happy to be where you are doing what it is that you're doing, well, because at the end of the day, you get paid for it. And hopefully you are getting paid for it, the right amount of money that you were looking to get. So this positivity is key. It's often overlooked, by people because, most people think that, being work is equals to being miserable. I mean, you can't go through life doing that, and you're going to be short-lived with the position that you are in. You're not gonna be a long-term employee. It is very important to be a long-term employee for a company. Even if you choose to move on in a few years, you still need to be in one place for a block of time where people can give you a positive reference. There's that word positive again. Okay? So the positivity part makes a person be so passionate about the work that you're doing that the amount of time it takes you to complete will be shortened significantly. Because as you can relate, if you can relate to what I'm saying, is that when you're doing something that you enjoy, the time just flies. I mean, think about that for a second. And that is a core point of positivity. Okay? So how do you achieve that? Well, believe it or not, and a lot of the experts in the field of employment productivity, especially with some of the companies that emerged over the last 20 years, places like Google, Amazon, they actually encourage this type of behavior. What do I mean? They created a positive work environment. They have ping pong tables, they have wonderfully crafted dining facilities, and even nap pods inside their places. I'm not saying that every company will do that for you. In some places, it's impossible to do, but you can do that for yourself. And here are a few tips, okay? Don't try to force yourself to spend an hour working on the project. Why don't you cut that hour into several sections? 2 25-minute sections with 5-minute breaks in between. So instead of putting yourself before a daunting task of sitting together focused for an hour, hey, you're going to give yourself high blood pressure. You don't want that. Okay? Give yourself 25 minutes and take a 5-minute break. But be precise. Time yourself. 5-minute break to give yourself time to relax and recuperate. 25 minutes on, 5 minutes off, then back to 25 minutes on, 5 minutes off, and you will see how that is going to help you relieve a lot of the tension that the workplace has given you. And by the way, Go back to that little matrix that we talked about. Urgent, not urgent. Necessary, unnecessary. That block, that square that we have put together, it'll help you adjust your work time around these blocks. It'll help you plan. Like I said, plan is the first P. So it's extremely important to put that together before you do anything. Make a plan, even if it's just a scribble on a piece of paper that says step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, to make sure that you can put a little physical check mark right next to that thing. There's a lot of resources available on the internet that you can look at sparingly to make sure that you're looking at a legitimate source. And of course, if you have questions, you can always reach out to me and I'll be glad to point them out to you upon request. So feel free to reach out to me here at my email address that you've all used extensively. Okay? The guru at the careergurupodcast.com. And I'll be glad to help. So make sure you reach out to me and I'll be there to help you with that. So here for you as always. So in conclusion of this exciting episode, which hopefully I was able to convey my information to you succinctly and positively to help you deal with your everyday stresses. Okay, follow these 4 Ps so you can manage your most essential resource that you can never get back once it's spent foolishly. Okay, remember, time is something that you never get back. So use every minute of your time for your personal benefit by working effectively, by working efficiently, by following a specific plan, by cutting out the chaff that is thrown at us from every corner, whether it's your personal life invading into your workspace or your workspace invading your personal life. No matter what it is, this bombardment is relentless. Leave space for yourself to make sure that you are positive, doing the right things at the right time according to the right plan. Okay, our next step, our next discussion in a few days will be dealing with procrastination. Procrastination is key. It is the most amazing source for self-help books in your local library or your bookstore. You know, just by chance, Google procrastination books, and you will see how many books have been written on the subject. And look at yourself in the mirror carefully and say, hey, am I a victim of procrastination? My own procrastination, not mine, yours. Okay, but we're all guilty of procrastination. We will explore the topics that drive procrastination, because procrastination is like, hey, can't you just get it together and, not waste your time? Guess what? There wouldn't be thousands of these books written if it were quite so simple. So stay tuned. Our next 20-minute engagement will clear up all issues dealing with procrastination. Promise. And with that, I bid you folks adieu. I want to wish you a happy upcoming 4th of July. Okay? Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, the birth of our nation. Enjoy yourselves. Reflect on these topics. By the way, life, liberty are understandable, but what exactly is the pursuit of happiness? The framers of the Constitution said it was money. Yes, money. Don't forget, money is important. Time is money. Money is time. And you can always invest that money into yourself. And on that note, I'll see you all soon. God bless you all. And happy 4th of July.
Well, friends and aspiring career gurus, this was fun. Thank you for tuning in. I feel enlightened, I feel empowered, and I'm feeling grateful that we spend time with you. For more information about Boston Career Institute, please visit our website, bostoncareer.org. Boston Career Institute has 3 campuses located in Brookline, Massachusetts, Malden, Massachusetts, and Lowell, Massachusetts. Call our toll-free number, 888-383-6058. For questions, comments, and or information about our podcast, email me at thecareerguru@bostoncareer.org. The Career Guru podcast is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, our website, bostoncareer.org, or wherever you stream your podcast. Subscribe, stream, rate, and review our shows. Your rating and reviews help our show reach new audiences. Produced by PodPro Entertainment, the Career Guru lives within a network of podcasts located at podproentertainment.com. Hashtag the new radio. Looking forward to seeing you soon. All the best to you. My name is Steve Yanovsky. I am the Career Guru. May God bless you. Hashtag let's career up.